Vegeta is more responsible for killing Cell than Gohan was, because Gohan held a gun, but Vegeta put Cell's head to the damn barrel itself, and without Vegeta, Cell would have turned that gun around and put the lead into that arrogant Super Saiyan 2's giant forehead.
Let's talk about the anime for a second. Now, it's portrayed that Cell was stronger through the struggle, and you had every fighter get involved to help Gohan. You could see Gohan gradually losing ground, where Cell was remaining dominant. You see Gohan get angry because Piccolo got hurt, and because his father said, "You're gonna save us all right now." Gohan unleashed power during those moments, but Cell always countered back. And just as everyone was blown away, Gohan's feet starts grinding through the rubble. King Kai says the planet's going to explode, and Goku's face looking extremely worried that this is true. And then Vegeta's blast looks like it almost buckles Cell's body. Now in the anime, it clearly shows Gohan taking full advantage of the heroic Vegeta moment, because Vegeta's blast looks like it actually hurt Cell somewhat and caught him off guard, where Gohan then just shifted the momentum quickly and went all out. Big cinematic moment. Let's be perfectly honest, scholars, pun intended. The anime portrayed Super Perfect Cell to be in charge of that beam struggle, and to look strong against the weakened Gohan. The anime made it look like everyone had to chip in, so Gohan had the edge to win, and Vegeta was that final piece to the puzzle. That's just how it is. It's clear as day in the anime that Vegeta's blast was a distraction, slight damage, and the actual turning point for Gohan to take full advantage of Cell's lack of force. If Vegeta's blast didn't do anything, not even distract Cell, why did Akira Toriyama put this pointless panel in at this last crucial moment of the beam struggle? The point where the tables turned. Why would he put it there? Why include Vegeta's panels if they were worthless? They were added in at the most important part of the beam struggle, the turning point, because they did count. What if Vegeta did not interfere, but Goku was still there supporting Gohan? When Gohan unleashed that final fury of energy to beat Cell, what if Cell wasn't distracted? Would Cell's mind still be in the game and be able to anticipate an oncoming wave of power from Gohan, not losing his momentum, or wouldn't have it mattered? Would that final wave of power have surfaced from Gohan if Vegeta did not open up a window and started triggering Gohan to act there and then? Think about it. Goku shouted now because he knew Cell was distracted, and Gohan also took full advantage of that. But if Cell was constantly pushing at Gohan without being distracted, I wonder if Gohan would have found that trigger to unleash it in time before he was overrun. Because Cell was still having a good time in this beam struggle. That was Gohan's winning ticket, the final surge of power, but without Goku or Vegeta there, Gohan would not have unleashed his monstrous power due to the momentum Cell had and Gohan's state of mind and courage degrading his own chi. Some seem to think Vegeta's panels were on there just to redeem his character, but let's be honest, he had that moment previously when Trunks got killed. His panels in this scene were placed specifically for the distraction in the beam struggle for Gohan to take full advantage. That's why they are where they are. That's why Akira Toriyama put Vegeta's distraction in that place before Cell was killed off. But what about Vegeta? Did he really make that much of a difference? Yes, he did. Vegeta's blast was a distraction. Cell was distracted. It was a success because it distracted Cell. Why is a distraction important during a Kamehameha beam struggle of this magnitude against Super Saiyan 2 Gohan? Let me ask you this. Have you ever done a squat with a really heavy weight? Now imagine you squatted down to that low point. Just before you squat up, someone then pokes you up the butt. Or imagine you were doing a tough bench press, a 1 rep max, and at that low point of the press, someone puts their nuts in your face. Guess what? You are distracted. And you know what happens when your mind isn't in the game at a crucial moment of a physical challenge when you're distracted? You get distracted and the weight crushes you. And in this case, because Cell was distracted, he wasn't focusing fully on the beam struggle. That's a lot of damn power right there, solar system level. And if you get distracted during a time like that, the other beam of just as high intensity will eat you alive, which it did. Gohan used his last drops of power in that whole blast and used that window of opportunity that Vegeta gave to finish off the distracted Cell. So Vegeta's interference did work because it successfully distracted Cell. And without Goku there, without the Vegeta distraction and opportunity to tilt the scales, Gohan's mind and courage would have never triggered a chi surge. In terms of chi or ki, there are 3 areas that make up the whole chi. Genki, Yuki, and Shuki, some say Shoki. Translated to health, courage, and mind, as stated by Akira Toriyama in a super exciting guide interview. Now, why is this important, you may ask? Well, it's because it has everything to do with Gohan and Cell's beam struggle. So let me break them down further so you see what I'm getting at. Yuki, literally courage, bravery, is the courage of the person. It is based on the fear of the person. If an individual has fear of another individual, then he loses his Yuki, and consequently a considerable amount of power. Shoki or Shuki is literally right-mindedness. It is the mind of the person. It is based on the calm and right mind. If the individual loses his right mind with the other person, then he loses his Shoki, and a considerable amount of power too. We can mention an example. When Nappa fought Goku, he lost all of his Shoki because he couldn't stay calm with Goku and was attacking him without any strategy, concentration, and right mind. When he calmed down, you could see the difference in Nappa. Still no match for Goku, but you could see the difference in Nappa's performance. Genki is the energy, health of a person. It is based basically on the physical health, the vital force, spiritual energy. A possible loss of Genki in the series is when Tien fires his tri-beam, sacrificing his vital force to damage the enemy. So that is what makes up energy. Now let's use that official concept of chi and analyze Gohan during the last chapters of his fight with Cell. Before Cell exploded, there is no question Gohan had the power to defeat Cell. He just got a little bit cocky. However, there is a turning point in Gohan's chi when Gohan sacrifices himself to save Vegeta, taking a huge blast from Cell, wounding his arm. Gohan says Cell was stronger than he thought, and you can see his mind part of the ki was affected here, as well as his courage, but definitely his Genki, because he admits he has only one arm and lost half of his chi. This is why at this moment, Gohan is backing away from Cell. His mind and body are not in sync. Losing half of his chi is supported by him being in Super Saiyan 2 for a while, fighting for a while, and just recently taking serious damage over the course of this fight. Cell is also intimidating Gohan and placing fear in him, also lowering Gohan's courage part of his ki, and his mind isn't in the fight because he was feeling too down because of his lowered health, feeling guilt over the loss of his dad, blaming himself, and not finishing off Cell when he had the chance. The dip in his Genki was the last straw to take Gohan's mind out of the fight, and his belief in himself. It's at this time where Goku is trying to teach Gohan and us that mind is just as important as body, and if you put your mind into something, you can do more than you thought you could. Just because his Genki part of the ki was down, when Gohan put his mind and courage into it, the other parts that make up chi, his overall energy was then a threat to Cell once again. He believed in himself. This raised his chi. Now Piccolo states Gohan can't win, his chi is too weak, so he is feeling Gohan's chi there. And again, this is backed up by Gohan stating his chi is cut in half, in both the anime and manga. Piccolo can feel this dip, especially if Gohan's mind wavers. And Cell is taking huge advantage of this situation during the beam struggle. He's now relying on his mind and courage to raise his ki more than his Genki because it's halved. Goku knows Gohan can stay in this fight if his mind and courage is high. It balances out the lost health energy. During the beam struggle in the manga, Cell is smiling a lot and Gohan looks like he's struggling, stating he is doing his best and he can't do any more. It's obvious that Cell has better health energy at this point though. Gohan's health has been drained a little, so he needs to raise his chi through the other means. But this is what some seem to not understand about this. Gohan only performed his best due to the change in circumstances. Goku's prompt to let his power rip because they can fix the earth with the Dragon Balls, combined with Vegeta's sudden interference, but without Goku's chat, without Vegeta's distraction. What would have happened to Gohan if his mind wasn't fully in this thing? Imagine this moment. I'm doing my best, Dad, I can't do anymore. Then at that moment, there's no more chatting with his father. There's no Vegeta distraction. What do you think would happen to Gohan at this moment? Gohan would have died. Cell would have killed Gohan without any outside interference. Always remember what I told you about momentum, scholars. If someone waves their nuts in your face during a tough bench press, you ain't pushing that weight back up. That's exactly what Cell was feeling when Vegeta was waving his nuts in Cell's face and lost his momentum, which Gohan took full advantage of in combination with his full power. And believe me, that was the last of Gohan's power because he fell right out of Super Saiyan 2 and fainted the moment the beam struggle was over. So imagine Vegeta did not intervene with the beam struggle, and it went on a little bit longer. Gohan's tank would have eventually run dry quicker than Cell's and not have had sufficient ki to perform one final all-out push to overpower Cell, due to his health energy decreasing rapidly from half. So there you have it, scholars. Vegeta did save Gohan in the anime and manga. Goku also saved Gohan by keeping him in the game in the anime, but even more in the manga by reminding him that mind is just as important as body. Without Goku's involvement, Gohan would have been wiped out and he wouldn't have fought back, because without the right frame of mind, Even the most powerful warrior can die, and Cell would have overpowered Gohan's weakened mentality to physically destroy him. This was all about how and when to utilize your full chi through mind, body, and spirit. Goku was the how for Gohan, and Vegeta helped with the when. And without them, Gohan would have died like a lost child in the woods who couldn't get home.